men do a lot of things out of love and out of strength at the sacrifice of their life and their freedom and their sanity. You know what I'm saying?
Especially the sanity part.
Sanity. Because a lot of people locked up in their mind and dead in their soul, you understand me, that ain't in jail, you feel me, that ain't in a physical graveyard, but they've sacrificed so much they ain't got nothing left for themselves.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Man to Man podcast, where we talk like guys. Man to man. Just having a regular workout day.
Man, cut it out, man. Yo, peace family. Welcome to the Man to Man podcast, where we talk like guys. I'm your host, Steve Jones, and today I'm actually hosting along. My brother Basheer a little under the weather today, so I'm having Man to Man talk. My other brother, 19 Keys. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm getting these games in. You feel me?
Man,
1,002. You feel me?
he just picked these weights up, y'all, man. A little camera trick.
I was counting the whole week.
How you been, though, man? What's on your mind, black man?
Man, I don't know, man. It's always something going on, man. I like the setting of Man to Man, man. It's just like a safe space to just speak freely upon everything. I feel like society don't ever want us to speak like men no more.
Nah.
Like men now done got to this place where they afraid to make space for themselves, right? Because now everybody, because you know the whole conversation of is like you take up too much space as a man. Now men don't take up no space. You know what I mean? They goddamn balls done shrunk and sunk back in. So it's like I don't know if they still got that X and Y thing. Some just got that X chromosome going on.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been noticing a lot going on, back in the day, when it was competitiveness going on, people like had love and passion for what they was doing.
Yeah.
And they competed in that manner, you know. But nowadays, they compete in like a feminine way, like they'll hate on you or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Talk about you, you know what I'm saying, just to get the limelight. Like it's a different type of competitiveness going on. What you think is you know, the reason behind that? Or what's your take on that? How you feel about it?
I think men had this weird, in today's time, men had this weird admiration that they don't know how to convey correctly. You understand me?
Yeah.
And the admiration turns into sometimes jealousy or enviousness. You understand me? Instead of them learning how to be a brother to that person and then showcase that, because oftentimes it's the same game. It's like when a person admires somebody and sometimes they do show it, they may not feel seen by that person enough. Yeah. So then they start, you know what I mean, acting weird and they start doing all of that other stuff. Like, you know, I dealing with a lot of different men at different levels, points, times. You feel me? It's like it's real political landscape, you know. But I grew up in the like, you know, we'd just chop it up with each other. We'd just speak, you know, frankly to each other, right? Yeah. Without overthinking the consequences of that person emotional stigma that they may have when they go back home or like they insecurities. Yeah. But now it's like you got to think about the fact like, damn, bro, them too insecure for me to even speak to him like that. You understand me? And it's not an insecurity that he outwardly speaks about, but it's something that you can see because it changes his behavior once he interact with certain energy. You feel me? Yeah. So I feel like, you know, it's that it's just that, you know, the agenda has successfully effeminated men.
Yeah, and it has feminated them to the point where like you said, like we talk like men, we talk aggressive to each other without worrying about how somebody else feel or whatnot. But nowadays you gotta take it into consideration to the point where it's like sometimes you might catch yourself biting your tongue.
Yeah.
And that ain't you know, that ain't how you move, because it's like at the end of the day, man you need masculine energy to keep it all flowing and keep shit in order, man. You know,
especially around other men.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can get that feminine energy from a woman. I don't want that from a man, and I don't want to have to treat a man based on his feminine energy. I want to speak to your masculine energy, and I know your masculine energy can take it. But most of the time, people deal with masculine settings in feminine ways. So like when we joking or when we speaking to each other and things of that nature, you may absorb it from like your feminine emotions and things of that nature, right? Instead of letting it bounce off of you or communicating what your insecurities are in the first place. You feel me? Because that's a fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not wanting to be seen based on who you really are.
Well, I just know, like me personally, I ain't programmed to be going home actually having a full-on brainstorm about how another man feel. You know what I'm saying, about something I said.
And you shouldn't. At the end of the day, like, we programmed to actually deal with our emotions in a very logical way, right? And the more masculine understanding and the more understanding we have on our feminine side allows us to deal with those things really perfectly, right? But it's like our lack of understanding our masculine energy and our lack of understanding our feminine energy has us using both of them incorrectly. You understand me? Like, listen, we all know feminine energy is in men and women have feminine energy and masculine energy. But at the same time, it's like, what do we need as a culture? We need men to step back up into those principles of manhood and masculinity. That's just point blank, period. And that's also because, like, for men to be willful and to be ambitious and to be hard workers and have a work ethic, that's traits of masculine energy. Where a person be like, I don't feel like doing something, but you still do it. Right? That's some loud, that's a man. You understand? Because he pushed past those emotions, he pushed past those feelings, and he think about his vision. He think about his will, his plan, his ideas. He think about the benefits and shit. He execute. That's man.
Not even that. Like, I can recall one time I had got one of my tooths pulled, and I was incarcerated at the time. But every night around 7 o'clock, me and the fellas would meet up and we'd read the Quran around the table. And everybody had a chapter to read and break down. But this particular day, I got my tooth pulled. Man, I'm to my jaw hurting. You know they're not giving us no medicine in jail at all, you know. But I knew, like, I couldn't miss the meeting, bro, because all the fellas at the table, they depending on me. So I came down there, mouth hurting and all, you know. But at the end of the meeting, everybody was like, man, at the end of the day, man, Lil Steve a soldier, bro. He came down here. I was like, man, I ain't do it for me, though. I did it for the rest of the team because I know, like, everybody got a role to play. And the only way to make it all happen is everybody got to do the work and get the job done. Get that.
Rise above emotions into the thinking of God. That's what I was always told. And I live by that because rising above the emotions is not saying that the emotions don't exist. Right? To rise above them, you going through the myriad of that flow of energy, but you're not stuck in it. And you're not allowing the emotions to control your will and your decisions, right? Like pain and adversity, those are the things that build character, and that's allow you to strengthen and condition your character as a man because you get to test yourself and you get to grow, right? Because you can easily baby yourself, nah, I just need to be and then you can be like, nah, like I'm a man, I actually have the ability to withstand that pressure, to withstand that pain for my purpose, right? And then being able to think outside of yourself for other people is empathy. You understand me? That's actually like I think sometimes people think like manhood is like not caring, but that ain't the reality. You understand me? Manhood is caring for other people, protecting other people, thinking about other people, and having those principles of integrity and accountability.
But fulfillment of an obligation. That's the most important thing, you know?
You know what I'm saying? Like, because a man, like, you expected to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you expected to do as a man. Like, you got to sacrifice to your family. You might have to sacrifice your life. Right? Whether it's for your people, whether it's for your family in a situation, you might have to be a protector. Like, men are automatically thought in the aspect that one day for my woman, I might have to take a bullet. Like, that's like, because you are classified as the protector. So if a man is to obviously go into that role, right, or take a bullet or, you know what I mean, give one too, right? So it's the same thing, you know, sacrifice and executioner. You feel me? Because it's like you seen as that person that got to go get back on situations, which is irrational in a situation because it's like, you know, the whole time, and a man is logical, he has to think about the sacrifice that he's making the whole time while he's doing something and making that sacrifice in the name of, this is my duty. You know what I'm saying? So like, men do a lot of things out of love and out of strength at the sacrifice of their life and their freedom and their sanity. You know what I'm saying?
Especially the sanity part.
Sanity.
You know?
Because a lot of people locked up in their mind and dead in their soul, you understand me, that ain't in jail, you feel me, that ain't in a physical graveyard, but they've sacrificed so much they ain't got nothing left for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that we currently live in a world that appreciates men anymore. That's just the
Well,
reality.
I was having a talk with a woman yesterday, and she asked me the difference in leadership and submission with the feminine and the masculine. She say, do one gender have, like, for example, do women just have to be submissive? Or can they have leadership roles too? I told her, yeah, it depends on context. You know what I'm saying? Like, the trick to it all, masculine and feminine energy, is you have to know when is the right time to use each characteristic trait, basically. You know, that's what I was telling her, you know. So, by me saying all this, my point I'm trying to prove is that, do you think nowadays more women are expressing their masculine energy over the men?
Over the man, absolutely. Well, I mean, you know, I don't be around a lot of suckers to
Yeah,
really
but
examine those type
as
of
far as like
situations.
what you see in the
But
media, or
in the vast society, definitely women are more masculine than ever. You understand me? That's just a fact. But at the same time, women are crying out for masculine energy. The very thing that society is asking for, when I hear the complaints and the things you want people to do and how you want men to step up and the energy that's missing, like, you literally shaping and crafting a conversation that is about how much you need masculine men in the world.
Right.
But then on the flip side, the way that you complain and talk about it and dog it, you understand me, is the very thing that you are hoping and praying for, is the very thing that you're killing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You understand me? The spirit of that masculine energy, the non-nurturing of that masculine energy, you understand me, or the upholding, you understand me, of that energy, right? Like, you know, a lot of us growing up without proper parents, right, with fathers and mothers, you understand me, and then watching those relationships and then mirroring those relationships for the rest of our lives screwed us up in a way that we have success or not have success in life. You understand me, with the opposite sex or the opposite gender, right? But we got to take accountability to the larger picture here, right? The larger picture is that we are, number one, specifically, let's talk about our culture, right? As black men and women, like, we grew up in America. America is the most imperfect conditions that creates and generates dysfunctional family units. Right now, there are so many men that are sacrificing the things that they want to say, do, believe, and move, right? Because the general consensus is now saying that that's not acceptable for men to do. Right? Like,
give me an example.
Well, I mean, you know, let's.
I'm getting deep, man. This is the Man to Man podcast, and we ain't holding back over here. Not what I'm hosting.
You know, it's just one of those things, period, where it's like men in relationships, you know, most likely sacrifice a lot of the things that they may want to do, right? And who they are, how they want to move. It can even go down to how a person dress or what a person's do. And don't get me wrong, discipline is necessary. But at what point is it discipline and what point is it submission, right? Out of fear, because the context is now we live in a world that no longer celebrates that type of masculinity, meaning that a man having the ability to do what he wants to. You understand me? But it's more so like, no, you now have to submit to this new world order. You understand me? And that's the opposite of manhood. That's the feminization. You feel me? So like a man saying, like, no, I don't want to take no V. I'm not going to argue with you on your opinion. I just said what I said.
Right.
Like, there's nobody that can tell me how to be a man. You understand me? That's not a man. Right? It's like a woman can't tell a man how to be a man. Right? Same thing, a man can't tell a woman how to be a woman. He can give her suggestions about what's feminine energy and what's nurturing and what to work, you understand me, in those relationship dynamics and give her examinations of history and context and reality and all sorts of different things, but we can never experience what it's like to give birth, right? We can never experience what it's like to bleed every month, and there's a period with the moon cycles. Like, the woman at the core, she has a connection with the earth, right, in the human population that we don't have. She can have babies, and there's literally she has a connection to cosmic, you understand me, bodies such as the
Right.
moon in her lunar cycle. So that's like a connection and a reality that women experience that we don't,
Yeah.
right? And as men, though, we have a different cerebral experience with things. We can get deeply connected into the divine source as well. You understand me? We can travel into multiple dimensions and go into that kundalini function, and we can produce that connection, right, that is already inherent in the biological function of the woman.
Right.
Like she have a baby, that's not a drug she got to take, or a meditation, or like a nature
Nah,
hike.
she need the
That's
masculine man. You
that's
know,
there.
he ain't even got to be masculine. She just need a man to
Yeah.
even reach that point. You
Mother
know?
Nature connected to the nature in ways that we won't understand, especially in the world that we living in. You feel me? So it's like, to that point, it's like, you know, I give women credit, you understand me, because I can't experience that.
Yeah.
But then we got to ask our question of what makes it work between us and her, because we have a large responsibility because of the experiences and connections that she goes through. And then without being equipped with the ability to experience it ourselves, we have to develop a different type of empathy, right? You know, it's like our women can empathize what it's like to be a black man in America and go through that and be targeted. You understand me? We are the most targeted men on the planet, black men, right? And the most unappreciated. And black women, right, are the most disrespected. You understand me? And also the most targeted as well.
Right.
You feel me? And so, or unprotected rather. You understand? Black men are the most targeted, black women are the most unprotected and disrespected. And we the most unappreciated. You understand me? And oftentimes, unfortunately, that has us going the opposite ways of each other, right? Instead of finding ways to come together and connect and heal.
That's key that you said that, because what I was thinking, what I do like about when I see women or black women, they stick together or they come together for a greater cause quicker than men would. And like when you look at the culture or whatnot, like you'll see a lot of women's movements or whatnot,
I feel what you're saying.
and they lasting. But a lot of the men don't link up because of ego and pride. Why you feel like that's the problem? Well, that's the ego.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
and
The ego,
pride.
you know.
But at the same time, it's because a woman told me that women don't really be linking together like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. The overall arching context of how women support each other, I had tweeted out the other day, is like, nah, the way women support each other, I admire that. That's the way we need to support each other, right? But at the same time, it's like, the reality is, I think that what messes us up, don't get me wrong, women going to benefit from a lot of the things that they do by sticking together, right? Like in the NFT world, you got the World of Women project, and then I just see all of the famous women jumping in that project, right? Then you got the Board a Yacht project. I see all the famous men jumping in that project. That feels like a masculine project. That feels like a feminine, right? But that one is led by a woman. So the reason they got into that is because specifically it's woman-led, right? The reason people got into that is just because it's more so about money and social value and things of that nature. The man didn't make a decision to say that this is a man's project, I'm going to buy into it because I got to support men. And then that make me think like, all right, so, and this is a frustration of mine. It's like, so I get all these new minority oppressive classes, right? You got the white woman and the gay white man. They now benefit in 2022, even though they've been in America, existing with privilege this entire time, right? But they now benefit as being minority classified, right? But then, and don't get me wrong, you got black women that benefit on some of, but not all, because white women are still benefiting more from the women's movement than black women. You understand me? And so you got the women's movement that classifies women, number one, as a minority, and then if you're a black woman, that's a double minority, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, though, at the same time, who has empathy for, and this is my question really, it's like, have we ever, like black men in America, I know that the conversation is that we have privilege because we're men, right? But it's like the highest incarceration rates of black men. The highest deaths by police officers is black men. Like, we can go through statistical challenges and analyze whether our privilege has afforded us, you understand me, a better constitution here, when really we all had the same exact rights based on that constitution and how they classifies us as citizens, meaning that that's their property, right? Like, when you talk about those voting rights, and they keep snatching them away from black people and playing this game, that goes towards black men and women. You understand me? When you go back to the civil rights complaints, that was black men and women, right? And so my now new establishment is not even just about that. It's more so about, like, this is my selfish. I want to see the world have empathy for the narrative of black Muslims in America.
Because black Muslims get a lot of hate. Not even just in America, though.
I mean, but look at the context in America, specifically like the black Muslim that grew up in the Nation of Islam, right? Yeah. If you know what I mean, you was never the majority in any neighborhood. You was always the minority. So you would get, discriminated against by your own people, by your own family.
Your own friends.
We grew up as the Muslim family. You know what I'm saying? Hating ass friends, bean pie jokes get slapped around, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, he sold bean pies for sure.
Nah, actually, I didn't, but you feel me? I would have. It's a hustle. I'm a hustler. You feel me? We gonna get that going.
Hey.
But to that point though, growing up in hoods of America, hell yeah, you go get hated on. You gonna get discriminated. You understand me? The narratives in all of the movie always show the Muslims as some suckers or something. You understand me? Unless you watching Malcolm X. That was like one of the only movies. But beyond that, they never showed it correctly. It was like square consciousness.
But the common sense of why they try to portray it like that is because Muslims, can't nobody debate this. When it comes to Muslim men, strong Muslim men who know what they talking about, they out here lifting the consciousness. And they can't have men out here doing that.
And to that point though, so it's like, that's the untold truth of America. Like, black Muslims have added and contributed so much to American society and culture in a way that it's been shaped. Specifically black Muslims. I mean, Malcolm X is a cultural figure. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, by far the most influential man to exist for real, as far as the contributions that he's made from his mind and his movement. You understand me? Like, you can't, like, in America, I can't compare anybody else that's more influential than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the last century. Understand me? And I dare anybody to show me conflicting truth. You understand me? But I only said that just because as I exist and I live, man, and I see all of these minorities support this person, they got privilege and they not being seen and represented. I've never been represented, ever. As a black, heterosexual, masculine man, I've never seen representation of the way I think, I move on TV, entertainment. There's no funds, there's no creator programs, there's no space being made, nothing. Everything that we do, we gotta take. You understand me? We have to create our own. And you know how much more energy it takes to create a space that doesn't exist and then excel in that, rather than for there to be spaces being made for you and then building that. There ain't no help. You have to 100% do it. So, I don't compare myself to nobody because ain't nobody been in the shoes. You understand me? To walk a mile to know what it's like.
I mean, I've been there. I know. I grew up with you, you know. But I want to take the time out. Shot 19 keys out right quick. My dog just went platinum. Reached 1 million views, 1 million streams for his podcast. I want to, if y'all can clap with me.
Man, appreciate that.
One time, reached 1 million streams, but I really like watch my bro like grind from the bottom. I can recall, we used to, a couple years ago, we had like a little small studio apartment, man. Like real talk, we was struggling.
4 people in there.
But every day, I don't care, bro. Every morning at 7, 8 in the morning, I used to wake up. Keys already be up, sitting at the desk, getting the work done, grinding, I ended up going to jail. I came home and bro made it happen, Like, it's like a miracle, but it's not a miracle because people call it a miracle, but I tell them all the time, nah, bro, really like put in the hours behind this. This is the results that come from putting in the hard work and the hours, you know? So I just want to give you your flowers right now, man. Real talk.
Appreciate that, for real, for real. You know, it just made me think. It's some people that work in their situation and some people that work out their situation.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, it's like the getting up and the grinding was the working out of my situation from what it currently is into what I want it to be. You understand me? I was never trying to just exist. You understand me? It was always to produce. You understand me? More. So I knew that I look at things literally as like energy. So I know the more energy I put here, right, then I know what that's going to produce. Like it's a formula, it's a mathematical formula, right? That if I put a certain amount of voltage, electricity, human energy is measured by joules. So energy into something, then it forces this world that's in my mind to be brought out. Because if I got a high frequency thought that has a vision, I have to match that, you understand me, with the thoughts, the action, the energy. But each thought requires a certain amount of energy to bring into fruition. It may take you, let's say you can produce, and just because I don't know the numbers, but let's say you can produce, 100,000 volts per day, right? Which just sounds more than what we can produce. But let's say we can produce 100,000 volts per day, but you have an idea that requires 1 billion volts of energy. Right? Whether it's the studying, the working, the conversations, the networking, the creativity, and some energy like creative energy can give you an exponential leap, a quantum leap, right? So where you can skip past the step by step and you can just make a leap and a bound. But it's like until you match the amount of energy necessary to bring that thought into reality, you will never produce that frequency. So for me, it was just like, I'm going to get up early because I'm working out of this situation.
Right.
Every day I got to put some energy towards my vision because otherwise it'll never be produced. That's just reality.
And I've been saying a lot of people, last year, man, when people went PPP crazy last year, man, I was seeing people just starting businesses, but a lot of the business failed. And I had to think about it for a minute. Even with the rappers, I seen a lot of people becoming independent rappers, and now they back signing label deals. I don't think people know, like, when running the business, you real life got to do your research on marketing and branding and, you know what I'm saying,
Everything.
and the study on the field that you getting into, so why you think
that shit ain't, running the business ain't sexy.
Nah.
The money you get from it, the cars, the lifestyle, which unfortunately a lot of people sell, right? So it's like, they go sell you the lifestyle that it's possible, but it's not likely, right? And it's not the focus. If you make the focus the cars and the clothes and things of that nature, you understand me, you're going to miss out on the things that you should be focusing on, which is the details and the understanding. Right. Like before I get into anything, like I study it. You understand me? Like before I got on social media, I studied it first. So all my moves were made from an informed place.
Right.
You understand me? When you're uncertain about anything, you need a strategy. You understand me? So it's like business, unfortunately, a lot of people go fail at it because they watching everybody else thinking it's easy when it's not. Because my thing is, I don't care about your results. I want to know about your process. I respect results because I know the process, right? So I'm like, if bruh got this or did that, I know how much work had to be put in on the back end. So I'm thinking about that part. That product don't mean nothing. You understand me? A person could have got lucky and they could, like a car per se. A person could have used their credit, they got a car. They could have got a loan or they, you know what I'm saying? They could have got lucky at some shit. I don't know nothing about that. So I don't care about the product. But if you got a business and you had to work, I know the thinking, the thoughts, the shifts that you had to make, the learning curves you had to go through, the management, the process. Like that to me is powerful because that's the story behind it. That's something that I want to duplicate in my life in order to get the ability and the power to manifest and buy those things that you have. But I don't want what you have. Right. I want the power to produce it in the same manner that you did.
I need the information.
Peace, family. 19 Keys tapping in with you.
I want to tell you why you need to tap into the infinite wealth strategies. Number one, there's a lot of millionaires being brought every single day, right? The job market is devastated, you understand me? You can go to college, but it's better to get you a skill. I've had several six-figure days in the market trading, right? Cryptocurrency. And at the time, I had little knowledge, right? I've sold an NFT, which was just a digital picture rendering, for over $16,000. But why? Because I understood the market and I knew the value of it. I've sold thousands of books, you understand me, on my e-commerce platform, utilizing my strategies that I teach inside the Infinite Wealth Strategy. But I also have a beautiful community of people all around the world assisting, providing information, resources, and links, because I know that it's harder to learn by yourself, but it's better to learn in a community sense. When you join Infinite Wealth Strategies, you too can become a part of a community of people learning together and earning together. Make sure you tap in, because it's an education that you need in order to succeed and build wealth. Don't be on the outside. Tap in. Infinite Wealth Strategies.